What's up, everybody? What's up? Let's uh, let's get started here, my dudes. Let's see. We can get going here. Do discount coupons. I guess haven't seen anything I'd really buy lately myself. No, I haven't. But I mean, it's just me. It's oh, just how I feel about it. Yeah. Let's see here, Rich. Let's see. Don't click no coupons. Um, another free day. I'm not going on. All them days are back up. Good, sure. 130 days we got, so that's what. That's right at 6 months then. Yeah, right around it. About five, almost 4.5, almost 5 months. Now, let's see. This season of it ends in 9 hours, 4 days. Okay, let's see what we got here. These. Alrighty, I guess we'll give it a whirl or people. Now that I see us doing anything great with it, but not to lie about it. Heck, I don't. I got the last couple of them. I tell you, bros, that I got blood work tomorrow. Came over at him about the season pass for the whatever for the zombies. They're so damn boring, bro. I don't even want to play them. I mean, in all honesty, I'm, and I need to get my crap from them, but I mean, they're just. I don't like the bug. The bugs. The bugs is just crap. They're just crap, man. Uh, they won't regulate them to where they're just crap, dude. I mean, honestly, they're.
Autopilot
I
mode
mean,
enabled.
as you see it, guys, this is the only game I've been playing. I've not seen anything coming out I feel is worthy of playing. Period. I haven't for a year or two now.
General quarters.
Excuse me. I bought games I ain't even opened up. I don't know why I bought them because I really ain't gonna play them. You know. Uh, like,
Awaiting
what do you
instructions.
do, dudes? I mean, really. This one, I mean, they've added some stuff. It's been pretty good. There's still a lot can be done. You know. Like, I don't know, bros. It's iffy crap, bruh. Iffy crap. Well,
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Autopilot mode disabled.
Our victory is in sight. Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port. I need support. Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
okay.
Our team has taken the lead.
Okay. That's two.
All stations, concentrate fire on the target.
Roger.
Battle ends in 5 minutes.
Torpedoes to port. Torpedoes to port.
Let's see here. We almost got a million there, didn't we? That's pretty good. Not to lie, that's really good. Okay. Okay. Let's get her about this. Good, goodies here. We got 8 boxes and those. Nine boxes. Nine. We got 9 boxes. We'll cash them in here. I normally do them out just so once because it kind of doesn't matter. I don't think it does. Forget what you get on those. I got you. Rhode Island. Oh, he's way off. He's way off on it. Let's see here. He should have a captain for him there. We have. He's not ranked up much. I know we did. Oh, lordy. Not played with it much. Let's play. I mean, it's not going to kill us to play with it. Absolutely. Believe him like he has her on there. He hasn't done anything on him, has it? No, honest. Let's see. No need wasting those. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Wait a minute. I didn't, 15,000. We got quite a bit, don't we? Well, we'll probably get spunked right here, dudes. I mean, we're just going to keep it low-key shady, because we'll probably go down. Compadre in this one. This is more of a get you some deaths than some blast the crap out of them sometimes, hopefully. And if not, hope you did. I've played with it a couple of times. It seems like it's okay. I mean, they're slow, man. The American ships, uh, they're all kind of slow. I opened up a crate and got this one, pretty sure. The Rhode Island. You can call me Red, you can call me Jed, you can just call me anything long as it's
Autopilot
covered.
mode enabled.
Let's go this way. Like, yeah. Well, we have a little distance between us there, and oh, I noticed it had that
Engine boost activated.
engine
Action
boost.
stations.
Oh, that's a plus right out of the shooting match. Our engine boost. I don't know. It runs. I don't think it's as fast as the Iowa. It's the only Tier 10 premium I have in America.
Awaiting
I think it's the
instructions.
only Tier 10 premium I have, to be honest. She's running up by 32, 33, 34, 35 knots, 36. Daggone. Although she's cooking with Creosote about 38 knots or 37.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Uh, that's that's awfully good there, babe. Hallelujah. Yeah, too much cleft. There's cleft and archer. We'll hold back and we should get a shot between these two right here. Maybe. Probably not though, but maybe. See one little guy, he's coming her way. Huh. Yeah. Yeah.
The enemy is about to win.
See about that.
Engine boost deactivated.
Destination reached. Autopilot mode disabled.
Well,
Torpedoes to port.
yeah, if I know that was coming.
Hold below the waterline. We're flooding quickly. Main turret critically damaged.
Boy, I'm loaded
The
one
enemy
way,
team has
isn't it?
taken the lead.
Yeah. Bad setup, man. I mean, what else can you say? He's chefing. What's the other guy? One. The chefing. And the chefing's pulled off. Just, if you don't engage, true fact. I mean, in all honesty, dudes, you Oh, well, you run down and died. No, well, not really, no, because I tried to capture you, one thing.
Battle ends in
For
5
another,
minutes.
if if you're not going to fight, you're not going to win. For one thing, I gotta take my potassium, my dudes, and you're not going to win. I mean, if you ain't willing to fight, you're not going to win. You're on a time limit to start with. So if you take those and then just keep them from capturing it, you won, bro. Whoops, my heart feels gross. Cholesterol. I mean, it's just facts. But if you don't, you're not going to. It's not going to happen, man. You watch these guys here. They sent their little DD in. He took it, and it'll be this way to the end. I mean, seriously, he's out. The sheriff's out of it. He waited too long to try to fight. This little cruiser, he's going to go down in a second. He's it. So there you go. We lost. 1-1 lost one. Win or lose, win or lose. It's, I think it's them. Uh, yeah, that's what it is. And my blood pressure's been really bad here lately. We'll have to see the doctor and see if we can bring it down. Guess we'll be changing some blood pressure medication on me. Probably. It's really early to take them, but my dumb butt um, didn't take them my morning medication, my blood thinner, my blood, all my others. So, yeah, yeah, sure didn't. That's not good neither. I didn't take those. I should have. Heck did I do it? Oh, where is that? Oh, well, poopy. Where those? It should be against the law that you have to take all this shit daily. Seriously, it should. I mean, my goodness, man. I have to take so much medication. And honestly, doesn't make me feel very not much better. I mean, like right now, I don't feel too terribly bad. There it is. I don't feel too terribly bad. Not that I feel the greatest or anything like that, because I don't. I've been hurting in my stomach and breathing quite a bit ever since I got my chemo, but it's tolerable, you know. Honestly, it's tolerable. But I've coughed so much. I think that's why my stomach hurts like it has, because I've coughed so much. I mean, what do you do, bros? I mean, unless you've ever went through what I'm going through, you truly, you know. I mean, I ain't trying to insinuate anything, bros. I'm just being honest. If you've not never went through this, you
Autopilot mode enabled.
genuinely don't get it. To not lie about it. I mean, you don't, bro.
General quarters.
You just
Engine
really
boost
don't.
activated.
I mean, stabbing all in my stomach and crap. That's constant. Constant pain in my lungs. Then
Awaiting instructions.
breathe hard, it hurts. But it's winter time, dudes, and I get the worst in the winter. Truly do. Last winter, I was terrible at that, which I've been lucky. I haven't been in the hospital either winter, but I have in the summer.
Enemy force sighted on the horizon.
Autopilot mode disabled.
I most definitely have in the summertime.
Battleship sighted.
Hit the cliff. I got two crews.
Enemy destroyer detected. Our victory is in sight.
Engine boost deactivated.
Oh, Jesus, man. Get dug out.
5 minutes.
Hang on. I don't know, bro. Still 3 of them. Well, up to you, little DD. Okay. I guess that's the name of that thing. Not sure. Right there, you can take it, bro. Backwards yet. Just hang right where you at. There you go. Good man. Two minutes. He's holding them both, so. Yeah. Let's see, forces engagement. He's trying to take B. There he is. Torpedo him, bro. Torpedo. Go easy. Gosh, damn. You might have hit him with him. Oh, you did. Good game, bro. They did pretty good there on that, I must say. Yeah. He definitely surprised me. You jerked the Yamato out. She's a beast. That's a fact. When she's in the hands of somebody that can use her, I'm not that good with her. You get all nine of her guns on her and get a hit, they're sunk. It's just honestly that simple. Well, she's definitely a one-hit master when you can do it. Which the Iowa and the Montana are as well. When you get all the guns on them, you can devastate. Passer. What's what? Chromicans. Okay. Ooh, that's going to watch. Like I say, old Johnson humiliate Jerry Nadler anyway. You know.
Sir, we will belabor the point further. I've already explained this, that by presenting this amendment, it changes the purpose of the bill and makes it about January 6th. On its face, by your explanations, by all the comments that have been made.
Reclaiming my time.
You asked me to respond, and I'm
You've
giving
responded.
you the response. Okay,
You've
so
responded.
on its face, the amendment violates House Rule 16, Clause 7. Now, you can disagree with me, but you're not the chairman anymore. I'm sitting in the chair now.
Reclaiming my time. Therefore, it cannot be a grounds for holding an amendment out of order because it limits it. It doesn't expand it. It's called in parliamentary terms a limiting amendment. So I would ask you why this is not a limiting amendment. Why this? In what way this expands the scope of the amendment, and I'll yield to you for the purpose.
You want this to be about January 6th. You just said it again. You emphasized the same point. That's not what the underlying legislation is about.
Reclaiming my time.
You asked me to respond, and I'm giving you the response. Okay, so on its face.
And again, I repeat that the motives of the Republicans today are shameful as seeking only to avoid voting on all these different subjects that have been raised today. I yield back.
The gentleman yield. The gentleman yield.
The gentleman has yielded back. Does anyone else seek recognition?
I just want to tell you the hypocrisy here. We've been in contact with a former parliamentarian of the House who's been watching these proceedings on TV, and he says every single amendment was in order because striking a clause in the preamble is per se germane, neither adds nor subtracts, and police, by definition, means all police, and that includes the January 6th police, it includes anything else. So I just want to tell you that's just another confirmation of your hypocrisy. I yield back to Mr.
And I yield as much time as she may consume to the gentlewoman from North Carolina.
Thank you, Mr. Cicilline. Just want to remind the committee that last time we took up bills for National Police Appreciation Week, we took up the actual bills that the police asked us to take up, and we did pass them through the House. And this amendment involves the actual bills that the police would like us to take up, including all of my local law enforcement. And I just want to thank Mr. Cicilline for the second year in a row for listening to local law enforcement and bringing before this committee the things that local police actually care about. And I yield back to Mr. Cicilline.
Thank you. And I would just say, Mr. Chairman, to conclude that this amendment is not germane, you would have to conclude that recognizing the dangers that local law enforcement face from gun violence is wholly unrelated to any resolution which recognizes their heroism and thanks them for their service to our communities. That just is impossible to reconcile unless you make a complete mockery of the dangers that the men and women who serve in local law enforcement face every day. The two are completely connected. And so this one I want to watch as you rule.
Does that mean the gentleman yields back?
And I would just say finally that you specifically talk about putting local law enforcement in particular danger in the very language of the underlying resolution. So how is it possible when my amendment simply amplifies another danger that law enforcement faces every single day, that somehow it is wholly unrelated so as to be a different subject matter not properly considered during this markup? And I yield back.
Gentleman yields back. Does anyone else seek recognition on the point of order?
Damn, Johnson, you pissed them off, bro.
The ship is on fire.
Chair's prepared to rule. Mr. Cicilline, you paying attention? You wanted to hear this. You wanted to see it. The amendment does not satisfy the subject matter and fundamental purpose test. Before you balk, wait, let me explain.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Because you cut out
Problem
the second
solved, sir.
resolution
Ship is on fire.
clause, the important sentence about defunding police that the sponsor of legislation just said was central to his. This is not a whereas clause, this is a resolution. You're changing the scope of the legislation by striking that out.
Mr. Chairman, you can always limit the scope of a bill by an amendment. You can always limit it. That doesn't go to its...
It changes the purpose of the gentleman's
There's
bill.
no such thing that says you can't change the purpose.
That's a matter of opinion and should be voted on.
You don't get to decide what the purpose of the underlying resolution is and whether it's changed.
No, sir.
Mr. Chairman, since when do we have argument while the chair is making a ruling?
The chair started being so absurd.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Battle ends in 5
Remember, I
minutes.
sat under lots of absurd decisions from you. All right. Let me read you Section 7 under House Rule 16. It's Clause 7, fundamental purpose. Another test used by the chair in determining germaneness is one in which the fundamental purpose of the bill is compared with the fundamental purpose of the amendment. The manual, Section 933. If the purpose or objective of an amendment is unrelated to that of the bill in which it's offered, the amendment may be... Let me finish. That's 8 Canon, Section 2911. The test is particularly applicable to an amendment in the nature of substitute. Okay. If the purpose... Well, it gives lots of examples. All right, let me say this. The parliamentarian who's watching on television, who is, I'm sure, a Democrat parliamentarian or would not have had Mr. Nadler's cell number, let me tell you that this does, in the view of this chair and this parliamentarian, expand or change the purpose of the bill before us. And so our interpretation of House Rule 16, Clause 7, is that it is not germane. Now, the other side is going to disagree, but that's the beauty of our system. The majority party is in the chair, makes decisions, it's appealable, it's subject to table. We've gone through that process here. This is the way this works, and always has. And there are thousands of examples of this and precedent that has been set in the Judiciary Committee and its storied history. So,
Mr. Chairman,
you're not recognized. So for all of the drama here,
direct front.
that is the ruling of the chair, and I yield back.
I appeal the ruling of the chair.
The ruling is appealed. Does the gentleman seek to table? Motion to table. The appeal is made, and the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Jordan.
Saving money feels right. Just like when things are packed tidy and tight. Get auto insurance that fits your budget and your needs. Save up to 10% when you bundle auto and renter's insurance. Get a quote today.
Torpedoes to port. Hull breach. We're taking on water quickly.
Taxes was paying the price. Every single year.
Mr. Jordan? Yes. Mr. Jordan votes yes. Mr. Issa? Mr. Buck? Mr. Buck votes yes. Mr. Gates? Mr. Johnson of Louisiana?
Yes.
Mr. Johnson of Louisiana votes yes. Mr. Biggs? Mr. Biggs votes yes. Mr. McClintock? Mr. Tiffany?
Aye.
Mr. Tiffany votes aye. Mr. Massey? Mr. Roy? Mr. Bishop?
Eh?
Ms. Sparts? Mr. Fitzgerald?
Okay.
Mr. Bentz? Mr. Klein? Mr. Klein votes aye. Mr. Gooden? Mr. Van Drew? Mr. Van Drew votes yes. Mr. Nels? Mr. Nels votes yes. Mr. Moore? Mr. Moore votes yes. Mr. Kiley? Ms. Hageman? Ms. Hageman votes yes. Mr. Moran? Ms. Lee? Mr. Hunt? Mr. Hunt votes yes. Mr. Fry? Mr. Fry votes yes. Mr. Nadler?
No.
Mr. Nadler votes no. Ms. Lofgren? Ms. Jackson Lee? Mr. Cohen? Mr. Johnson of Georgia? Mr. Johnson of Georgia votes no. Mr. Schiff? Mr. Schiff votes no. Mr. Cicilline? Mr. Cicilline votes no. Mr. Swalwell? Mr. Swalwell votes no. Mr. Liu? Ms. Jayapal? Mr. Correa? Ms. Scanlon? Mr. Nagoose? Ms. McBath?
No.
Ms. McBath votes no. Ms. Dean? Ms. Escobar? Ms. Escobar votes no. Ms. Ross? Ms. Ross votes no. Ms. Bush? Mr. Ivy?
No.
Mr. Ivy votes no.
Gentleman from California.
Mr. Issa votes yes.
Is Mr. Swallower? Who are we looking for? Mr.
Mr. Gooden?
Mr. Gooden?
Mr. Gooden votes yes.
Okay, I think any member, Mr. Biggs, gentleman from Arizona? You voted? Okay. I think the clerk can report.
Mr. Chairman, there are 14 ayes and 9 noes.
The motion to table prevails. Reporting. Oh. Gentleman from California is recognized.
Mr. Chairman, I have an amendment at the desk.
Clerk will report.
Amendment to H. Con.
Who could have thought that this simple ear trick could help fight off dementia? Did you know that memory loss is not a condition of the mind? Most people.
Okay, let's find something out here. Let's all right, bros. I'm going to have to use the bathroom. Be right back. All right, bros, I'm back here. Let's see here. Trying to find us something here. I want to see this.
During one segment, Goldberg referred to Rogan as irresponsible and dangerous, accusing him of spreading misinformation.
Remember the bully who randomly punched?
During one segment, Goldberg referred to Rogan as irresponsible and dangerous, accusing him of spreading misinformation to his audience. Rogan, known for his unapologetic stance and willingness to defend his reputation, fired back with his own defamation lawsuit. His legal team argued that Goldberg's comments were not only false but also deliberately intended to damage his credibility and career. Rogan's response was swift and strategic, utilizing his platform to call out what he described as Goldberg's hypocrisy and moral grandstanding. The addition of Rogan to the growing list of lawsuits was a tipping point for The View. His massive audience and relentless defense of free speech turned public sentiment further against Goldberg and the show. Rogan's legal battle became a media spectacle, with both sides using every tool at their disposal to make their case. The culmination of these lawsuits proved catastrophic for The View. The financial burden of defending against multiple high-profile cases quickly drained the show's resources. During one segment, Goldberg referred to Rogan as irresponsible and dangerous, accusing him
Didn't know this was going on.
It got stuck in the on, and then it also had
2 people in custody tonight after the FBI search of a Diamond District pawn shop. The 2 men had been buying stolen luxury items from South American theft groups and then reselling them at their store.
So the owners of this store right here are in FBI custody for allegedly working with a South American robbery crew to sell stolen items, some of which were taken from the homes of professional athletes and other wealthy individuals all across America by a gang of Chilean immigrants residing in the U.S. illegally, living out a twisted version of the American dream with the alleged help of an American business.
How you guys doing? Body camera footage showing 4 Chilean nationals being questioned by authorities last month in Ohio. And in the trunk, a Louis Vuitton bag.
Where are you guys headed to today? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
Nijinsky and Juan Villar are accused by federal prosecutors of regularly serving as fences for South American theft groups. Their Diamond District pawn shop raided Tuesday.
Someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe Burrow's house.
Federal prosecutors say the thieves made off with roughly $300,000 in luxury items, including watches, glasses, piles of cash, and Louis Vuitton luggage. The alleged gangbangers also posed wearing the NFL stars JB9 and number 9 chain necklaces.
They come here almost exclusively to commit and engage in criminality.
I feel like my privacy has been violated in more ways than one.
Prosecutors say in their search Tuesday, investigators found large quantities of suspected stolen property here at the pawn shop, as well as from a storage facility in New Jersey, where they also found sports memorabilia and power tools that are commonly used to open safes.
These are the individuals that wake up every day with one intention.
Manhattan, you've got to wonder how many other predatory businesses like this are hiding in plain sight, especially when crime statistics show New York City has experienced an astronomical rise in moped-related snatch and grab robberies over the last 2 years. An 8,000% rise to be exact, with criminals stealing watches, purses, bags, and other valuables from unsuspecting victims in some of the city's richest neighborhoods. Which happened last summer when thugs approached customers at restaurants, forcing them to put their Rolexes in pillowcases before speeding off without getting caught. But it doesn't stop there. The city also saw a rise in robberies in Central Park and in Midtown by Times Square. And when you combine those with the out-of-control shoplifting epidemic we're experiencing, a troubling picture starts to emerge of a city flooded with so many illegally stolen items that they're now being sold openly at stores on the side of the street. And that brings us to the real reason why this bust is so important. It exposes a highly profitable industry that, when combined with New York's sanctuary city status, acts as a magnet to bring the world's worst criminals to our city, where we not only allow them to hide from the federal government while they live in taxpayer-funded homeless shelters, but also the opportunity to be the worst versions of themselves, all thanks to New York's decriminalization of petty theft and assault, which, as you're about to see, has created a pipeline of products stolen from the law-abiding and then sold on the streets of New York in broad daylight. All across the country. But before we get into this wild story about how a gang of foreign criminals was able to break into homes all across America, it's important to understand that this collusion of legitimate businesses and unlawful residents of this country is nothing new in America's largest sanctuary city, which is home to over 400,000 people who are illegally residing in the United States, which creates a big problem. You've got a massive number of people who can't legally work yet need to feed themselves, pay rent, and buy clothing, creating an opportunity for businesses to prey upon these people or to team up with criminal gangs and then prey upon the rest of society.
A gang of Chilean migrants are accused of snapping brazen photos after allegedly storming Bengals quarterback Joe Burrow's $7.5 million Ohio mansion. The alleged gangbangers also posed wearing the NFL star's JB9 and number 9 chain necklaces. Burrow's girlfriend.
So these guys that were running stolen products up to the 3rd floor of this store right here, they might look like jokers from the photos they posted on social media, but they knew exactly where they were going, they knew how to get in, and this might not be the first celebrity's home they raided. However, the FBI says that stolen goods from multiple celebrity home invasions were being sold out of this particular business. The full extent to how those items got there has not yet been revealed by prosecutors. But the thing that's odd about this robbery is that these guys had no problem taking pictures and showing off with all their loot. Either this was their first time committing this sort of crime, or they'd done so many home invasions and successful raids that they figured nothing was going to happen to them and that they were invincible. And the amount of money they were making probably made them feel unstoppable.
Someone is trying to break into the house right now. My daughter is there. This is Joe Burrow's house.
Investigators say the two men are linked to a nationwide burglary ring targeting the homes of high-profile professional athletes. That includes Kansas City Chiefs stars Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce, NBA stars.
So what happened here is absolutely wild, and the details are incredibly shocking. Not just how the goods were stolen from this person's home, who did the stealing, and how they were offloaded right here, but this is not the only business in town which apparently has a no questions asked policy when it comes to buying things that walk in the door from people who might be criminals. In fact, everything that can be stolen gets stolen and resold here. You've got bodegas selling stolen food, clothing stores reselling stolen items from places like Macy's, and if you're curious about how these gang members might have met these people, well, there's a whole bunch of stores here that all say they're willing to buy valuable that it might be secondhand. These criminals could literally have just gone up and down the block with a briefcase full of stuff, showing it to people until they found a willing accomplice. And the crazy thing is, it looks like they would have gotten away with their heist if they hadn't done something really stupid.
Body camera footage showing 4 Chilean nationals being questioned by authorities last month in Ohio.
Where are you guys headed to today? Orlando? Wrong way. Florida's that way.
The man in the front passenger seat wearing a Cincinnati Bengals beanie, Burrow's team, and in the trunk, a Louis Vuitton bag and a shirt from LSU, where Burrow played in
a traffic stop. These guys were brought down by bad driving. Their car was full of stolen belongings, and the officer asked them where they were going, and they said, "Oh, we're going to Florida." And the officer's like, "Guys, Florida's that way. And this is crazy. They had $300,000 worth of valuables from this guy's home. The homeowner is signed to a 5-year, $275 million contract, which had a $40 million signing bonus. So he's incredibly wealthy.
And apparently his home had security guards there, but these guys got in when the shift changed, revealing an incredibly high level of sophistication to this raid. And apparently they had planned this out in advance. They did not just show up, break the window, and steal whatever they could find, not knowing whose it was. Apparently the authorities found photos of the home in question on their cell phones that were taken prior to the break-in.
And then they discovered something else that tied them to the owners of this business right here.
There were 4 men arrested for that, and according to federal prosecutors, one of the defendants, Djinsky, his cell phone is connected to the 2 men who were arrested in that case. So that was the connection to Joe Burrow. They're still trying to sort out all of the victims and identify the property in this case.
Wow, that is way more than some casual relationship. The people who ran this business were in direct contact with this gang that was out robbing celebrities' homes.
And that could mean one of two things. It could mean that the owners of this business have the cell phone numbers of a lot of people who bring them expensive stuff. After all, there's a lot of businesses on this street that have rare and expensive things. And the last thing you want is for your customer to be standing outside your front door with a briefcase full of this stuff in New York City. It would be incredibly bad for business if one of your customers was followed and tracked down while making a delivery. And if you're headed to a New York City pawn shop or jewelry exchange and you get there and the door's locked, that could be a big problem.
So maybe the cell phone connection, not that big of a deal. Or it could mean that these guys were in cahoots and they were in contact with these criminals as they were premeditating which homes they were going to hit up.
Only time will tell, however, if a business gets busted reselling knowingly stolen merch, which they may have helped the criminals steal, they could be going away for a long time.
But even if they do, as we touched on earlier, the criminal element that is stealing all of this wealth is still going to be out there, which means the opportunity to profit from the sale of all those stolen items will still be there as well, and the opportunity to make money supplying these criminals with the
Okay. I find this one funny. Listen to this about Brandon Johnson.
Going into an office.
Not New York, but Illinois' Chicago's mayor. Messed up, bro.
One Chicago resident, visibly frustrated, directed sharp criticism at the city leaders for their handling of the city's finances, accusing them of overspending on migrant care while the city faces a growing deficit. And we are back, people. Thank you for watching today. Go ahead and hit that like button. Y'all my family now. Can I say family? Hit the like button, family. It only takes a little bit of effort from you and it helps us out tremendously, so we appreciate that. Now y'all, today what we're talking about is Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson. There's new information about him. See, he's going to the state and he's saying, people, we need more money in Chicago. We have problems. We have a problem over here that takes some millions to fix, and we have a problem over there that takes some tens or some hundreds of millions to fix. Give us more money, people. Now, the reason we're talking about this, because remember, I'm not from Chicago, but the reason we're talking about this is because this spending issue is still at the center of what does concern me and what concerns you, which is the way that the country, particularly the local governments, the state and local governments have handled the migrant. Can we call it a crisis? I don't know if I want to call it a crisis, but the migrant situation, let's call it a situation. It is at the center of that because, see, what has happened is the federal government, which means your money and my money, the federal government has given the states and the cities our money to help with the migrant situation. Now, before I go any further, I am all for helping. I just want to help the right people and I want to help them in the right way. I'm gonna leave that up to your imagination. Now, what we're gonna take a look at here is this news report that says Mayor Johnson preps for sanctuary city testimony. If you don't know what a sanctuary city is, let me explain that to you real quick. It is a city that says to the federal government, first of all, they say to the migrants, those who are in the country without permission, those who the federal government the federal government's actively looking to remove from the country. The cities say to those migrants, come here, come. We aren't working with the federal government. You'll be safe here. If we run into you, if we run into you and we know that you are being sought by the federal government, don't worry. We're not going to tell them you're here. And we're going to use our money, our city funds to help you get established here, to help you live here. So that's what a sanctuary city does, right? So he's prepping to go testify before Congress about the sanctuary city status of Chicago. Now, why would Congress want to talk to him about this? Because he is actively helping people that the federal government is looking for. He's essentially actively helping them hide from the federal government and remain comfortable while they're hiding. Okay? So, I mean, let's just call it what it is. All right, y'all. So let's take a look at this news report. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson is looking to Springfield. That is the capital of Illinois. So he's going to the Illinois government for money. He's looking to Springfield with two open hands at a time when the state is facing a $3 billion deficit. Quote, the governor has an incredible lift to close the gap. So he's hoping that there will be money in the budget to help fund transportation, special education, and bilingual education in Chicago. Let's take a quick look at a news report about that. Then we're going to come back and, we're going to do a flashback. We're going to see how the Chicago residents were furious with their government about how they were spending the money just a few months ago. And, spoiler alert, the Chicago residents were upset that they were taking that money that they have and spending it on the migrants. But we'll do that after this news report.
Brandon Johnson looking to Springfield with two open hands at a time when the state is facing a $3 billion budget deficit.
The governor has, an incredible lift to close this budget gap.
The mayor hoping there will be money in the budget to help fund transportation, special education, and bilingual education in Chicago. The mayor also counting on more funding to help CTA, which is facing a fiscal cliff next year when pandemic aid runs out.
As many people know, the distribution of resources for the Chicago Transit Authority do not match our economic input, right? So we want to see more equity around there.
State Senate Republicans talking about different budget priorities.
It's time to prioritize Illinois taxpayers. Again, we're calling on Governor Pritzker to not increase taxes on Illinois families and businesses.
The mayor says there also needs to be conversations around the personal property replacement tax. That's money paid to cities from state-collected business taxes. Last year it was restructured, reducing the payment to Chicago by $169 million. But Johnson is also preparing for another big conversation when he testifies on Capitol Hill next month about Chicago's sanctuary city ordinance. The law prevents law enforcement from helping ICE agents on immigration matters.
I always do my homework, right? And we will continue to do that. But here's the most important thing. We are a welcoming city for a reason.
The mayor was asked if he's ready to take center stage in D.C.
Here's the good thing, that the people of Chicago will be on center stage. I'm representing the values of Chicago.
Mayor Johnson says one lesson he has learned in dealing with the Trump administration is not to flinch. He says when he testifies before Congress, he will take with him the grit and toughness that Chicago is known for.
All right, y'all. So now you've seen the news report. Let's see let's see how they were spending the money just recently, just back in September, y'all. That was 4 or 5 months ago. Okay. So this is not that long ago. This news report says Chicago resident criticizes city spending on migrant. Quote, are y'all lying to us? Now, y'all, I do want to make it clear. I do believe that a significant portion of the money Chicago is and was spending is probably coming from the federal government specifically to help migrants. So the idea that Chicago's spending all of their own money on migrants is probably not correct. So we need to be, I can't give you facts, I can't give you figures, but we need to understand that the federal government has been doling out the U.S. taxpayer money to the cities. This sharp criticism at the city leaders for these concerns. Alderman Byron Lopez, I don't know how to say that.
Oh, I've been watching a lot of these dudes.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Maverick Man 101. We have a video here today from Justice Arena. She thought paternity fraud was a good idea until she was proven wrong. Let's go.
All rise. Judge Vanderby Court is now in session. Judge, this is case number JVB 1019, Canada case. Judge, both parties have been sworn.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Autopilot mode enabled. Okay, Miss Canada. All right. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
I'm seeking child support and back pay from this man.
Okay, just straightforward. That's what I like. Just get right into it. How old is the child?
The child is now 3 years old.
3 years old.
And I have not received any child support.
In 3 years?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right. Sir, is there a reason you haven't given her any child support in the past 3 years?
Nice work.
Yes, ma'am, there is.
What is that?
We've been discussing the paternity obligation.
Okay.
Under the circumstances, you know, I don't think I was the only person having a fling with Rocky at the time that you know, she and I had that time together.
Oh, boy.
And,
excuse me? Are you implying something?
Well, what I'm trying to say is that I understand that you may have been seeing some other people in addition to me. And the reason that I haven't provided
well, those are rumors.
I understand
First of
that.
all.
I understand that.
Second
But
of
you
all.
haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Absolutely right. Sorry to stop it so quick, but I just wanted to really quickly dive into this. And I mean, you know, we've looked at a couple different cases on this channel. We looked at a couple different divorce cases, and we talked through them. The one thing interesting about this case so far, right, is this guy saying, hey, look, you know, I think she was with other guys. So I want to make sure that before I take on this responsibility, that this responsibility is attached to me, right? That it is mine. That the child is mine. And you see how quickly, two things, right? I feel like every time we discussed a case on this channel, the woman's always interrupting the man or the judge, just extremely unruly in court. That's number one. Number two is the fact that he has a valid argument, right? We've heard a lot of different things. We've seen a lot of different stories coming out of not just paternity fraud in this country, but in other countries where they've tried to change laws and people have tried to revolt against it. I think France was one of those places where they tried to revolt against it. And, you know, in this type of case, this guy's like, hey, look, I think she was with other men. And I don't want to sit here paying for a child that isn't mine. And I just don't see how we allow this to happen where that doesn't logically make sense, right?
I need intelligence data.
Let's go back. Last thing real quick, man. It's always women just She looked like an ostrich, right? It's always women like that. No disrespect to her, but I'm just saying, man, it's just, it's always women like that. Men always tend to think that it's the baddies wilding out. Nah, it be plain Jane ostrich-looking chicks out here wilding.
I understand that,
Second
but
of
you
all-
haven't complied with my request for DNA test either, and that's my key. Is that if I have an obligation, I like to make sure it is my obligation and not the obligation of some other father.
Well, maybe you should have been obligated to your wife whenever you were having an affair with me.
You're right about that.
Wow.
Honest
So
truth is
you are
that-
admitting that you're married?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
And I've told her. I've told her that we had this flame.
You didn't
told
tell
your
me you
wife
were
that?
married until after.
That's correct. That's correct. I did not tell
I'm
you.
sorry, I won't disrupt you guys anymore. Go ahead.
The alleged father argues that he hasn't paid child support because he is unsure if the child is his. He claims Miss Canada had other partners at the time, and she counters by pointing out his infidelity to his wife.
So, from my perspective, Your Honor, I certainly understand the situation. I'm not trying to be hard-hearted, so to speak, about this, but I think that there's some other questions that need to be answered before we agree on paying any kind of support, because at this point, we haven't confirmed whose child this is.
Okay, well...
I mean, really quickly, I get it. I don't condone cheating. No man nor woman should cheat. I just feel like at this point, that's completely irrelevant, ma'am. You're trying to pull these arguments out of thin air. Well, maybe not necessarily out of thin air, but what does that have to do with the paternity of the child, right? She's trying to pull heartstrings, right? Like, oh, if she was out there having it with other men, well, the one guy that she's sitting next to in court, she was having it with him. He just happened to be married, right? Now, no, you should not be cheating. But at this point, this is not a trial for, how faithful somebody is in their marriage or infidelity, right?
Torpedoes, dead ahead.
This is a case about the paternity of this child. So it's women, right? They like to bring things out of left field and just toss them to home plate, hoping that something hit, right? But, okay, fair point, right? Shouldn't have cheated. Or at least you should have just told her he was married from the get-go. And then she can make her decision from there, right? But do not condone the cheating part. Who's the father of this baby?
So I definitely have some questions too, but I don't think they have anything to do with child support. It's more about you guys' backstory, but that has nothing to do with me. However, has this man taken a DNA test at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. Did he sign anything at the hospital?
No, he wasn't there.
Acknowledging that he was the father? Okay, so he does have a valid point. Before we can actually place him on child support, he either has to accept parentage, which, according to what I'm hearing, you're really not accepting it.
He's in denial about his affair and doesn't want his wife to find out.
My wife knows.
Oh,
Yeah,
she
right.
knows now.
Ah, he's lying.
You
She
told
would
her?
have to at this
I would have
point.
heard from her by now. I work with him, ma'am.
Oh.
Oh, this just get worse.
At the welding place?
I'm a receptionist there.
Receptionist there, I'm a manager.
That's how we met.
You're her direct manager.
Bruh.
Oh, okay.
Bruh.
Wasn't expecting that much tea this morning.
The courtroom becomes tense when Miss Canada reveals that she works with the man's wife at a welding plant. She doubts he has told his wife about their affair, escalating the emotional intensity of the case.
So, yeah, he's entitled to a DNA test.
Sure.
Okay, so before we can move forward with anything in terms of child support, looking at your financial documents you provided, he first needs to get a DNA test.
I just want to quickly go back. I mean, man, so he is the manager at this welding spot, and he ends up messing with the receptionist. Just, whew. Now, I'd imagine that this has to have some sort of ramifications at his job as well, especially with them being on TV, this reality show, support court stuff. I'm sure that his employer
Sickening
found out, and
they'd be
typically
having
when there's
a
something like
further
this,
story
there's
with them.
always
That's
some
no
sort
way
of
to
punishment
treat
that
no
comes
one.
down. So that's number
You
one.
don't treat
Just
people that way. You
one,
just
I mean,
don't.
my goodness, don't cheat, right?
Absolutely, bro.
Don't exercise your options. Or if you are, tell your wife, give her the option to decide however she wants to handle with it, right? I
Give
mean,
her a chance
if that's
to
what you're
walk,
gonna
hey,
do.
bro, what's up?
But
I know I
definitely
bleed,
don't do it at work, man.
brother. No,
Or
I
somebody
bleed.
that you met at work.
Sorry, my dude. I can't oblate. Sorry about
Hey,
that.
down bad.
Stop.
Down bad. Let's keep going.
So what I can do is you
Sitting there
guys
listening to divorce
go and
court, my
get
dude.
the DNA test, then you can come back at a later date, possibly, if he's the father. If he's not the father, you're more than welcome to bring back as many people as necessary. I'm not implying by any means that what he's saying is true.
Right, he's
but if
definitely
he's
the
not
father.
the father, you can bring back as many people as necessary to get DNA testing, and we actually find the father and place him on child support.
Oh, I know who it is, so that's not necessary, but thank you.
Okay. Is there anything further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that...
I think as well, I just wanted to, I mean, where's she at? Look at this face. Look at this face. I mean, she knew exactly what she was doing. I think the other thing as well, look at the lady in the back. She judging mad hard. This guy is just like, oh, yeah. I tell you what, and this happens a lot too with women sometimes when it's like they're close to that time of the month. A lot of times they're out there, they're having fun with no hat. You get my drift. With more than one person, right?
Yeah.
Before that time of the month, before Mercury goes in retrograde or whatever nonsense they come up with, a lot of times they're out there doing things with different men without the cap, right? If you get my drift.
Looking to
So
get pregnant now.
she might be confident that this guy is the
Not to
father.
lie about
Right?
it. There's plenty.
Clearly,
looking
this
to get
guy has some
pregnant,
doubts,
and they won't
right?
stop until they do.
But
And,
I do think that there is,
especially if they think you got a
especially
little bit of
under
money
the
to you,
circumstances of how they
can
met
rob you.
and how they hooked up.
In her case,
Who knows
she
who
knowed
else
he was
she's
married.
been
He
with,
knowed he
right?
was married as well.
And
So I
again,
have no
men
word
look at
for
women
him
like
as
this
well.
and think that, oh, she ain't doing nothing. She's plain Jane.
The only one I feel sorry
And
for
she'd
is
be
his
out there,
wife.
you know,
That
bent
here it
over
is,
backwards.
She's had to find out about his infidelity.
For a lot of men.
Through it.
And again, right, look at the age gap. Clearly that guy
done. I don't believe in that.
is quite a
crap.
bit ways older than her, right? So
Go,
she knew what she
nigger,
was
bro.
doing.
You know that, my dude.
Which is, it is what it is, right? Typically, right, if you're having that affair at work, for the woman, that guy's going to be older.
Watch how
For
she
the
got
guy,
exposed
the
with
woman's
it.
going to be younger, right?
Yeah.
Let's keep
Anything
going.
further?
Your Honor, can we get your assistance in having this thing compelled so that we can get this DNA testing done expeditiously?
Oh, yeah, most definitely. And it will be done through the Attorney General's office.
Okay.
Because they are actually on site in the courtroom, and it will be in the courthouse rather. And it will be much easier and free to you all to go ahead and use their resource.
The judge confirms that before any child support is mandated, the alleged father is entitled to a DNA test.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
The court
it should be.
facilitates the process through the Attorney General's office, ensuring a free and expedited resolution.
Okay? If there's nothing further, you all are dismissed.
Thank you.
Rocky,
You're welcome.
if I have obligations here, I'll stand by.
I appreciate that.
Okay.
Good man.
Yeah. You know, again, and I was just going to say
he
this
should
actually
take
for
care of
this
his kid
gentleman
regardless
right
how
here.
he asked
You know,
around
it
and got
didn't seem like he had an issue with paying the child support, right? It was the fact that he wants to make sure that the responsibility belongs to him. And I think he's due that. I'll probably do another follow-up on this video. I have to find out what happened here, because I'm definitely intrigued. But again, gentlemen, just protect your neck out here. especially when it comes to, you know, like I said, if you're doing affairs, things like this, even if you're not doing affairs, you just do not want to get yourself involved with these courts when it comes to child support and paternity fraud and all this other stuff, because, you know, this guy seems like he at least was smart enough to not put his name on any documents.
I'll give him that,
before
but
he
he's
gets
been
that
smart. He
confirmation.
wouldn't have never got the acquisition.
But gentlemen,
and
just
kept his
protect your
old
neck
pappy
out
in his
here.
pocket, bro. I mean, in all honesty, man,
At
that's
work,
his problem right there.
I personally wouldn't do it.
Keeping his
You
pappy
know,
in
I've
his
dated women
pocket.
before that I've worked with years ago, and then I just completely cut that off. I don't do that anymore. So I would just say, don't do it. Don't do it.
Right.
Don't do
I
it.
agree with you,
And this gentleman was married, had an affair, and now he is in a dilly of a pickle, if you will. So yeah, folks, I think we're going to leave it there. If you hear anything else about this case, put it down in the comments. Let me know. If I find anything, I'll just do another video on it. Until next time, folks, eat well, sleep well, be well. I will see you guys later.
God
Peace.
bless, bro. God bless. I tell you, in all honesty, bro, you don't do crap like that now. I mean, honestly. Judge Humble's a woman, divorced a millionaire. Okay. Let's check this one out.
Imagine making $453,000.
I like less than days and watching them. It's how you find out.
Filed before me to see if the child support needs to be adjusted.
Are you paid a salary?
I am, yes, ma'am.
And what is that salary?
It's $90,000 a year.
Maybe I've seen this.
This case demonstrates the greed that exists within the family court system, but the judge immediately recognizes it and ain't having it. Let's get active.
Please raise your right hands. Do you solemnly swear the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Thank you. You can both put your hands down.
Okay, how old are your children?
They are 12 and 14.
Okay. And the current order in your case from 2017 has the child support set at $1,925. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And Mr. Birch was also ordered to carry the health insurance for the children in that order?
Yes, which is what I asked, which that has been, I guess, resolved and not a part of this. That was my
So this woman is asking for more money, but mind you, she already receives $30,000 a year in child support as well as health expenses for the children already. But the double click into her words is that she don't want child support. She wants life support. Now she's filing this motion for more money for child support because she assumes her ex-husband is making more money. But let's listen to her inaccuracies.
If do you know where Mr. Birch works?
He works at East Texas Truck Center.
Yeah,
Okay.
I've seen this one before. Those hang on there. We'll find something. Well, I haven't. Kid sues his own father for not buying him an expensive car. Yeah, I can believe that as well.
Today on Judge Porter.
Oh, it's a long story. Pretty much my father promised me a great reward, you know, for all the great things I've done growing up.
This is by no way an extension of the way I brought him up, which I assure you was not what you're seeing. He is a transformed person. I can't believe you're doing this to your father.
And now I'm wondering, damn, does he even love this man?
You tell him, Judge.
Today on Judge Porter.
You mean over the past 25 years, his work history equates to a few hours?
He sits on the couch and eats potato chips and plays video.
Today on Judge Porter.
Oh, it's a long.
The podium, please.
There we go.
Benny Crespo, I assume?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you know who Omar Crespo is?
I think so, unfortunately.
And what's your relationship to this Crespo here? He's my son.
Okay.
Sad to say.
Now, for the purposes of this court, since you guys share the same last name, I will be referred to you as Mr. Benny, and I will refer to you as Mr. Omar. Is that okay, gentlemen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, okay. Mr. Benny, sir, you show that you're suing your father for $60,000 for emotional distress. Am I reading this correctly?
Yes, Your Honor. That is
You
correct.
mind telling the court what happened?
Oh, it's a long story, but pretty much.
I need you to speak up just a little bit, sir.
Oh, it's a long story. Pretty much my father promised me a great reward, for all the great things I've done growing up. And, he always promised me if I did well in the classroom, well in sports, he'll reward me greatly. And, now that the time is here, I'm of age. He's not keeping his promise.
How old are you now, sir?
I just turned 21, December
21.
17th.
Okay.
Yes, Your Honor. And, my birthday and Christmas happen to be, kind of close together. So usually years in the past, I would get a gift for both my birthday and Christmas. But as of recent, he's got a pay raise. And, with that comes, greater rewards, as he's promised me. And, as for my birthday, 21 is a big deal. And I asked for, a luxury car. A Lamborghini.
I'm sorry, you asked for what now? A luxury car?
Yeah, luxury car.
For your birthday?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. What type of luxury car are we talking about?
Anything from a Porsche, Lamborghini, Ferrari. I have standards, and it's important to have standards in life. And what he gifted me wasn't any of those. I got a basic electric vehicle, if you can call it that. It's not really a vehicle, I would say. First, you can't hear it. It has no motor, no engine. 2, you have to charge it. If I wanted to charge something, I could easily just charge my phone. And it's just...
If you wanted to charge something, you can just charge your phone.
Yes, Your Honor. I don't see why I have to charge my vehicle if I can easily just have something better that I can just put gas in and go. I don't have to sit around and wait to charge a vehicle. Doesn't make sense.
I'm curious, Mr. Benny. Where do you reside?
With my father.
You stay in his house?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Mr. Omar.
Your Honor, Judge Porter. Your Honor.
Please explain this to me.
If I may, I can't believe you're doing this to your father.
I don't see the problem.
Judge Porter, I don't want you to get the wrong impression. This is by no way an extension of the way I brought him up, which I assure you was not what you're seeing. He is a transformed person. This is not my son.
I'm pretty sure that the standards that you instilled in him are kind of different from the standards he has now. But please explain to me what is going on. I'm trying to understand. Oh gosh. Oh boy.
Judge Porter,
you got me at a loss for words right now. I have to admit.
I don't think I ought to be, standing here acting like this if he's claiming I wasn't raised like this. Well, I don't think I'll be standing
here.
Son,
what are you doing?
Okay, Mr. Omar, let me ask you this question. Mr. Omar, he stays in your house?
What you do.
Does he live in your house?
He was born and has lived in our house, my wife and I's house, for the last 21 years.
Does he go to school?
Yes, he's currently going to college.
4.0 GPA. Sorry? 4.0 GPA at that.
4.0.
He's a great student.
Who pays for his tuition?
He actually got a full ride scholarship.
Also, he has a full ride scholarship.
Yes.
Academics or sports?
Both. Academic, 4.0 GPA, which we're very proud of, and he is an exceptionally gifted basketball player.
Okay.
As well.
Mr. Ben, let me ask you this question. As far as this basketball scholarship goes, do you have an NIL deal? You know what that is?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. The name, image, and likeness, do you have that?
Yes.
How much are you paid for that?
I would say an additional $50,000.
So the school pays you $50,000 in addition to giving you the athletic scholarship. It's a full ride scholarship?
Yes, sir.
So you don't have to pay for anything?
No, sir.
Plus of that, you have the stipend for the NIL deal.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Omar, please continue, sir.
Judge Porter, if I may, I like to say a few things about myself and my son. Just so
Okay.
you can get a better understanding of things that are not on paper.
Please explain this.
I came to this country when I was 21 years old from Argentina.
Okay.
I was born in Buenos Aires, Argentina. I came when I was 21, without anyone. Okay? My parents died when I was 7 in Argentina, and I had to stay with an aunt who was a very mean person. But, you know, that's neither here nor there. She raised me, and I'm thankful for that. When I turned 21, I decided I wanted to come to the United States for a better life. And that's exactly what I did. And I have been working every single day of my life until today. I can't believe that you're bringing me to court on a work day. You know how difficult it is for me to take a day off. I can't believe you are not my son.
Hold on. You had a
chance.
chance to speak. Let me ask you this question, Mr. Omar. And I'm not going to get into the financials of the situation. I'm assuming that you have your own business or you work for a company?
I work for a major company.
You work for a major company.
Yes.
Now, without getting into the financials, I'm assuming because of his request that you can afford a luxury car.
Yes.
You can afford.
Yes, I can.
And you probably can afford a Porsche, Ferrari, Lamborghini, whatever he requested.
I wouldn't say that.
Okay, but you have the financials that if you wanted to make that happen, you can make that happen.
I could probably
All right,
make
you
that
had your chance, and now it's his turn.
Son, excuse me.
Let me ask you this question. When you came here from Argentina,
I did.
Did you have that type of money?
I never had any money to my name.
Type of money to buy yourself a luxury car like that?
Absolutely not. I had to work for everything I have every day of my life. I had no parents. I didn't even have a family, for Christ's sake.
So you had to work to get to where you are now?
I have had to work every single day of my life since I was 7 years old.
Do you have a college degree?
I do not. I am not a college educated person. I am a self-taught man.
Okay. So from a financial standpoint, would you consider yourself to be successful?
Well, that's a tough question, Mr. Porter. It's a tough question. I mean, I am, quote unquote, yes, you can call it a successful person, but I'm not a rich person.
You're better off than most, I should say, rather.
I would say I'm middle class plus.
Middle class plus. Okay.
Look at it that way.
And your son is suing you. And why did you decide to buy him a electrical vehicle instead of the car that he wanted?
Well, we've had this conversation already.
No. Tell me. I'm curious. I'm just curious.
Of course. So my wife and I originally wanted to buy him a what we call in the Spanish community a transportation, which is basically a cheap car with high miles, just to get him, from point A to point B, which is essentially all he needs. He's a college student. It's not like he's going to go party every day. He has to go to school. And then we decided, because he's been such an exceptionally gifted student, that we were going to buy him a nice car. So we got him an electric vehicle, which I consider to be, I don't know the way you guys look at it, but I consider an electric vehicle a luxury car. I got him it's a $40,000 car.
Without getting into the make and model of the electric car that you purchased, what I do know that they are not cheap.
They're not.
And on average, they cost at least $50,000, $60,000 starting. Am I correct in saying that?
At the very least, yes, sir.
That's pretty cheap.
That's not cheap.
I'm sorry, what?
That's pretty cheap.
It's cheap?
Yeah, because you don't know where money comes from.
Okay.
I don't know.
Here's where.
Do you see what I have to deal with? Are you seeing what I'm dealing with?
Oh, I'm hearing every word of this. Yes, sir.
May I add something? The fact that he even had the idea of getting me a low-end, cheap startup car, I kind of find that disrespectful.
It's disrespectful.
Yes, I have an image to uphold.
Is this your only child, sir?
This is my only child, Judge Porter. You see what I have to deal with?
Mr. Benny.
That even helps my case more. I'm an only child. He can,
I understand that, Mr.
spend the whole budget on me because there's no other kid.
Benny, what have I done for you your entire life if not give you everything? You have a roof, you have food to eat, and you have an electric car. And you're going to college paid for by the state. What are you complaining about?
So why couldn't you just give me the car I wanted?
Because you don't deserve it. That's why. Because you have to learn the principle of working for what you want. You want a Ferrari? You want a Ferrari? You go to the NBA, get drafted by the NBA, you buy Ferrari. I got you a nice car. That's all you need.
4.0 GPA has been building up. I'm the captain of the basketball team. I have an image to uphold. Everyone in the school knows who I am. I can't pull up in an electric vehicle.
Mr. Omar, sir, I'll take it from here.
Mr. Porter, this is outrageous.
Mr. Vinny.
Yes, Your Honor.
I want to commend you for your grade point average. I want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
You have made a dedication to your academics. It appears to me you've made a dedication to receiving your degree. What are you studying in school, sir?
Actually, I'm studying cybersecurity.
Cybersecurity, okay. So once you have your degree, you have a foundation to go through life and make a living for yourself. I want to commend you for putting in the work to receiving a basketball scholarship. There are plenty of people out there who have athletic talent, but they don't have the discipline to put it together where they can receive a college scholarship. I want to commend you for that.
Thank you.
Okay. Here's where you are a disappointment. This man owes you nothing.
Thank you.
He owes you absolutely nothing. You are an adult. You are a grown man. This is the first step in being your own person. He has done his job. When you were a baby, they made sure that you were fed, that you were clothed, that you had shelter. They did their job. Let me ask, hold on for a second, sir. Did he go to private school or public school?
Benny went to private schools
Private
his entire
school.
life.
Wait a minute. So he went to private schools. Were they free for you, or did you have to pay for that?
Absolutely not. You're an educated man, Mr. Porter.
I am.
You must know the cost of private tuition. It's not cheap.
So they paid for you to have the best education.
It's just
They make this. I understand that, but there are people out there who don't have the ability to go to some of the best schools.
I understand that, but I didn't ask to be put in a private school. That was their choice.
You know what? You're right. They could have sent you to public school.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
As a matter of fact, he could have said something like, you know what? I'm going to put him in a boarding school somewhere and let somebody else deal with him. I'm going to spend all my time with my wife because apparently there's no other children.
Precisely.
They made the sacrifice so you can have. Okay? He bought you a car. Whether it's an electric car or what we used to call a jalopy, you had a car to get from point A to point B. And how your friends think about it, who cares what they think about? Okay? Are you here to satisfy their image, or are you here to satisfy your own? Because when you start being concerned about what other people think about you, you are setting yourself up for failure. Don't give a damn what other people care about. If you show up in a bicycle, your job is to get your education. Your job is to play basketball. You said you're the captain of the basketball team. My job here is to lead us to a conference championship, and so be it. Maybe we can win a national championship. Who cares how you get there? If you come across a young lady and she laughs at the car, who cares? That means that she's superficial. She cares about what you have, not about who you are. Be concerned about who you are. Love the fact that you have a mother and a father who care about you. Because guess what? There are kids out there who don't have that. Okay? They don't have a mother and a father who are there to support them. Because I tell you what, because you're grown, if that man right now said, you know what, get the hell out of my house, where are you going to stay? You can use that $50,000 that you get from the school to get your own place, but you know what? You can use that $50,000. You can put that into a bank. It can grow. You can invest it, whatever. You have help. And you are so blind to that fact. You don't even see this man is still helping you, and you have dragged him into court. You don't recognize that. You don't appreciate that. And now I'm wondering, damn, does he even love this man? I don't have my father here. I didn't have a good relationship with my father. I wish I did. I had a mother who cared for me. I had a sister who cared for me. and it helped get me to where I am right now on this judge's bench. If these people walk away from you right now, who are you going to have? Your friends? The ones that want to see you drive up in the Ferrari? When the Ferrari crashes, you think they're going to be there for you? Hell no. They don't care about you. They care about, hey, he's a fun guy to hang out with. Hey, he can help us win a championship. But when it goes sideways, the only people who are going to be there for you are the people who are there for you right now. And if you can't recognize that, I don't know what to tell you. Like he said, you want to get a Ferrari, you work hard, you get drafted in the NBA, and you go out and you buy yourself a Ferrari. I wouldn't recommend doing that because there are a lot of guys who make it to the NBA, they get the money, and then next thing you know, 10 years from now, everything's gone. This man has successfully made it on his own. Follow his leadership.
Are you listening to the judge?
The experience that he has, he can give it to you. So even if when you graduate, if you don't make it into the league and you want to do your cyber security thing, this man has the education and the experience to help you grow. Hell, you could probably be bigger than he is. And then you can buy as many Ferraris as you like. And you can buy me one. That would be nice. But my friend, listen to me and listen to me well. Do not dictate your life on materialistic stuff. Do not dictate your life on how other people see you. Because like I said, when the chips get down, all those people are gonna walk away from you. Every single time. You're young, you don't have life experience yet. Your father has life experience. You better learn from him because there's gonna come a day when he's not here. There's gonna come a day when your mom isn't gonna be here. And on that day, you will cry, you will cry, you will cry, and you will wish that you had them for the smallest little things, like maybe just talking about the weather.
Ship is on fire.
You better learn to appreciate it while you have them now, and take the knowledge that they have so you can improve your own life. Am I making myself clear?
Yes, Your Honor.
You do understand this case has been dismissed, right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. Have a nice day.
Thank you, Judge Porter. I appreciate your time. Come on, son. Come on. It'll be fine. Have a nice talk when you get home. Drink some mate. We'll talk about it. We'll figure it out. Okay?
Okay.
On behalf of myself and my family, I'd like to thank Judge Porter and the Mango Park community for making the right decision here today. I have had many conversations with my son about what went down in court today, but I think hearing it from Judge Porter himself will send the right message and clarify many things for him. And I have noticed an ongoing pattern of young people in this community not listening to their elders, and I think the decision that was made here today is very important for us and for the entire community and for the whole world. So thank you for that, Mr. Porter. I really appreciate it.
This whole thing was complete nonsense. You know, I find it kind of stupid how I'm leaving here empty-handed, not getting what I know I deserve and definitely earned. You know, Judge Porter, I think, in my opinion, he's just being biased towards my father because he's older, he can relate to him more. I'm younger, so he can't really relate to me, and of course he's just gonna side with him. So probably when we get home, this is gonna be a very, very quiet car ride, so I'll probably just, you know, try to talk to my mom to see if she'll get me what I want. Hopefully, you know, she has, you know, some more sense and knows what I actually deserve.
Finding where you